everybody, and welcome to Between Us Girlies. I'm Bran.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Casey.
And guys, we have a lot to talk about today. This is going to be a big, juicy episode, so grab that glass because we're about to pour some tea. But first, let's start with, we have two Capricorns in the friend group.
Let's hear it.
Bailey and Casey. Casey's birthday was yesterday. Bailey's birthday is tomorrow.
Yes.
Casey, how was your birthday? How was your birthday weekend? Did you get any good gifts? Let's hear it.
I had such a good birthday weekend. I felt like I wanted to do something like a little more casual. I didn't want the pressure of like going to a club or getting a table or doing anything big because like to me that just takes away the fun of it being my birthday. I feel like we always say that like you never have that much fun on your own birthday because you're just like so stressed about being like kind of the host. So I decided to take advantage of the fact that I have a house now and I was just like, let me just throw like a pregame party vibe, like not really anything. It could turn into a house party, could turn into just people come and leave. And it was so much fun. We had there was like pretty decent amount of people there. At one point I couldn't hear anyone talking because everyone was so fucking loud. I was like trying to hear whoever I was talking to. I was like, I don't know what you're saying. But it was so fun. Everybody came and we just drank and then everybody left by like 12 and me and my boyfriend and like two of my other friends went and played pool at a bar and I low-key was really good, which was crazy. But yeah, it was like the best vibe going into 28. And then on my actual birthday, I got my birthday dinner and just, it was a really good birthday. I feel very fulfilled.
Aww,
yeah.
Yay.
Good energy going into 28.
Love that. And Miss Bailey, your birthday's tomorrow. What are we doing for your birthday?
Well, Casey likes to keep things low key. I am a little bit of opposite. We are taking our asses to Miami. So when this episode comes out, we will be in Miami because it's coming out on Thursday, so we will be there. So yeah, this year for my 28th birthday, I'm gonna say 21st. It's getting old.
Let's make that the entire thing of the trip. It's Bailey's 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Should we get you a little sash that says like 20, like RIP fake ID?
God, over the hill, more like. No, but I'm so excited. It's gonna be fun. For my actual birthday, I mean, I'm going to work on my actual birthday, which is whatever.
Get your check.
Yeah, you're right. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so the past few years, we've actually done trips.
We
what did
sure
do?
have.
Yeah, so we throw it back to 2021.
I think 2022.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
2022, we did Miami first.
Yeah.
And that was, when I look back at that, because I was like trying to look at my pictures, I was like, God damn, that feels like ages ago.
That trip was like defining, like for so many different things. Like one, that trip went viral on TikTok. Like every single video I posted went like 3 million views, 4 million views. I remember, I will never forget, I went on the trip, I had like 185,000 followers, and when I got back, I hit 200K, and I had to like plan my 200K party. Everything like it was just nuts. Like I feel like that was when people like started, I feel like honestly that's like when the girlies really started, the four of us.
And I feel like it's also like our group chat makes it to the to the trip. What did you say? Your group,
The trip makes it out of the group chat. I was just gonna say that. I feel like that was the first like real trip we planned because we would do like weekend like beach trips, but this was like we had to buy flights and get a hotel room and book reservations.
Yeah, that was the first like get your pretty little thing shit and let's go. So we did Miami
2022, and then we did
LA. Yeah, so we talked about the LA trip. This year we're going back to Miami. Let's turn it up. Yeah. I think we've talked about Vegas in the past, but I don't know if we can.
So something I've heard from a lot of Vegas people is like to get the full Vegas experience, you need to experience the pool parties. And apparently they're not open in January, I guess, because like even as places as hot as Vegas, it's still not hot enough in January. So I feel like Vegas is like a separate trip, like not a birthday trip for us. Because I'm also not going during my birthday in August. Hell no.
Oh my God.
Sweating like a pig.
No, I feel like Miami's so nice because it's like so quick. We can get there in 2 hours. We're also going for a short amount of time, which I really like. I feel like it's easier to like one, plan, and two, survive because Miami is no joke. And I feel like going for a shorter amount of time gives us more chances to like not spend a whole day in bed.
That's so valid. When we went to Miami in 2022, we learned the hard way. You do not need 4 nights in Miami.
That was crazy.
By 9/3, I think we all could have used like brain surgery. Like there was nothing happening. Also, we should tell the listeners our ultimate vacation like tip, which I forget if it was your idea, Bailey, or Casey's idea. Bailey has a Cash App card, and what we do for every vacation is we all like Cash App her a certain amount of money, and we use that card to pay for like Ubers, our dinners. I'm gonna be totally honest. If you are in a friend group where everyone nickels and dimes each other, this will not work for you. But like, we're very much a like. We probably all spend around the same thing, just split it between the four of us, and we just put it on one card, and it makes vacations like so much easier.
It's so easy.
I remember before we went to Miami for the first time, I'd heard about this tip and I like brought it up to you guys, and it's kind of like a hard thing to convince people of if you don't know about it.
Yes.
And so you guys were like, oh, maybe. And I was like, guys, I promise this is like a crazy hack. And then we did it. And it was like, I never want to go on a trip where we don't do that again. And like, we also are all respectful. Like, not one of us isn't going to get like a $150 steak if everyone else is getting something chill. Like, we all usually order the same things. And if you want to buy something separate, then take out your own card. But it is like the best hack for a vacation with your friends.
And then when you...
No, you go.
No, you go.
Okay.
After you, Queen. It's your birthday. I'm giving you a pass.
It's also easy. Like when we were in LA, we would go out to I think we went to the same breakfast place every single day. But even just doing that simple transaction and not having to, well, how much does this person know? How much does this person know? And like you said, if your friend's nickel and dime and y'all can't figure it out, do your separate ways.
Yeah, that's a different problem.
Yeah, so it will be our 3rd annual girlies trip. I'm really excited for like how this trip is going to be like different from like the past two, because we are 27, some of us now 28, and I feel like we're not as crazy, but like then again, the vacation just like brings out the feral, especially Miami. So I'm curious. You guys will have to follow along on social media to see how this all plays out.
I'm curious too.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's like, it's kind of going to be different, and we're also all like a little more prepared. I feel like every other trip, like it's just so stressful, and we're a little bit older, we make a little more money. Like everyone's kind of like ready to have a good trip. So I think it's going to be a weekend.
How about you, Linz? Are you prepared?
Oh, man.
I saw you playing with your collar. I was like, oh, hell no.
I don't know if I'm prepared. I feel like I always say that I wasn't supposed to be a part of this friend group. Like somebody else was supposed to have my spot because I don't last. I love to sleep. I'm a complainer. It's just like I can't help it. So hopefully I'll make it out. Hopefully I don't throw up.
But I think that's a good balance for this group, because if we had someone who was like crazier than everybody, I don't know if we would go on a 3rd girls trip. We might, you know how they say friend groups don't last in Miami. We might have been the stereotype.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think you got this. So I wanted to get into a little bit of tea, if you will.
What's going on?
So for those at home, we released an episode last week, but we actually pre-recorded that. There's your tea. But so we haven't recorded in like 3 weeks, and I've been itching to get behind this mic. But some drama happened over the break. Lindsay, do you want to fill us in?
So this was an interesting night, to say the least. Me and Queen Bailey, as per usual, went out. We did our typical dinner and bar stool combo. And I actually had a coworker who is like a lot older than us, but she is like still that girl. She was visiting from like out of town, and I said, you have to come to Barstool. So convincing this mom to come to Barstool was like my only priority. She was all that I cared about. So the vibes were really weird when we got there. Bailey and I were just like not having that much fun. I was trying to impress my coworker, being like, I can get you in. Let's do shots. Like I was full blown being a college student to this mom of 4. So Bailey looks at me at one point and she's like, Lindsay, this is like whack. We got to get up out of here. And I was like, no, let's stay. I was like, you're leaving? So sad. Bailey ends up leaving.
Sure did.
We end up seeing a group of people that we know, and the group of people is actually, the star of their group is somebody who we've actually talked about on the podcast before, and not necessarily talked about this person, but talked about what this person did to Miss Casey. Not to give that person too much shine, because they don't really deserve it. Anyways, I was very nice, calm and collected to all of these people. Not one of them is a fan favorite of mine. I could do without seeing them for the rest of my eternity. But one of them decided that he was going to blow himself up with alcohol, and the courage just projected out of his skin, where he felt the need to come up to me and scream at me at the bar about the podcast. And it was one of those nights where I I didn't feel the Holy Spirit inside of me. I acted like an animal, and I'd like to apologize to Barstool and anybody else who saw me that night, who saw me screaming lots of things across the bar to this young cis white male.
Completely valid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So safe to say I hate him. And I didn't appreciate his actions that week, but we did come home and laugh about it because it's always fun to get into a little fight. We actually took the fight outside. I'm going to say followed me outside like a freak, but we did take the fight outside. I did end up then screaming at him in the street. So that was also a great look for me. Apologies to anybody in the line who saw me do that. But yeah, I hope he's having a great day, and I hope he's still enjoying the podcast because clearly he's been listening. And I wish the best for that whole entire friend group.
Has he like apologized or?
So I did receive an apology from one of the gentlemen in the group, which then I told him that the person who yelled at me needed to apologize to me. And I got the most ass backwards apology that I've ever received. My Cancer energy was just not vibing with the apology. So I told him to shove it, and I deleted him on Instagram. And I hope I don't see him.
No, I think it's a good rule of thumb, for the listeners. Like, the whole title of our podcast is Between Us Girlies, and these people are clearly not girlies.
He's
and
not
girlies, just so you know, has absolutely nothing to do with your gender. It is about being hot, fun, kind, accepting, all of those things, which none of them are. So if you are listening and you are not fun and kind and accepting and care about people and want to put good into the world, and you don't want to shit talk with four best friends, listen to another podcast.
There is nothing of the sort.
He has a lack of home training.
It was just the decorum. It was so boule. It was so ghetto. I sincerely apologize for my behavior. But that's that's all I'm sorry for. No, I'm not sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the people who had to see it because it truly was explosive.
I was on my couch, had the joint about to be lit. Lindsay said, I just got in a fight. I said, oh my God.
You probably gave those people in line a good story to tell their friends the next day. So
I hope so.
Honestly, you did something good for the community.
The crazy thing is, when I was leaving, this girl comes up to me. She's banging through I'm on one side of the Barstool wall, and she's on the other, and she's banging on the door. I love the podcast. I'm like, girl, I love you too, but I have to get back to this fight. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, off of what Casey said, if you also don't want to hear, beyond not listening to the episode, don't watch us on TikTok either, because our TikToks have been popping off. We have hit now 18,000 followers and counting on TikTok. So if you're not following us, pull out that phone right now, switch your app and go to TikTok and follow Between Us Girlies. But we've had a few different clips go viral. We had our first viral Stitch video, which was me talking about how a situationship is a situation to one person and nothing to the other.
Still hurts.
Yeah. And a lot of people were hurt by that, but obviously did acknowledge that there is some truth behind that. So we've popped off a lot. That was my first experience ever having a viral Stitch. Even on Brandflix,
Really?
I've never had something I remember I logged on to the Between Us Girlies account and we had 80 mentions, and I was like, oh no. Whenever I see mentions, I get really scared because I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? But those were positive, very fun feedback. So yeah, make sure you're following us on TikTok, but also don't make sure you're doing that if you can't handle the heat.
Yeah,
Get out the kitchen.
It is funny to see our comments because I feel like this is how any TikTok comments are. There's always the first half, which are people that are with you or agree with you or have insight onto what you're saying, and then the second half is people who are just bored and lonely and feel the need to comment something completely unrelated, and it's so funny because you can so clearly see. Once our TikToks hit the viral mark, then those people just start flooding in. They get so mean. They comment on the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
It's just is there nothing else you can do with your time?
Getting on the bad side of TikTok, it is not great.
I think getting on the bad side of Instagram is much worse. Please do not post.
Is there a good side of Instagram?
No. That's true. Instagram Reels are truly the seventh layer of hell. They are mean, hurtful, scary. I like would want anything else in life to happen to me than to be on the wrong side of an Instagram reel.
This girl made a TikTok, and I swear it is my Roman Empire. I have not stopped thinking about it for 2 weeks, where she was like, social media is like the millennial version of being a Karen. Like how older people are Karens in grocery stores or to customer service, millennials are Karens online, where it's like, wait, what about me? I can't do that. Like the what about isms that you comment on videos, like all of the like just the annoying comments,
Yes.
like every single thing that they comment. It's like, after I read that, I was like, damn, that really is our generation's version of being a Karen.
You know what cracked me up? This was like a funny one. People made it funny, but the girl who made the 16 bean soup or the 12 bean soup, it looked delicious. She was like, oh, this helps my period. Like, make this soup. People were in the comments going, what if I don't like beans? Then don't make this soup. Like,
It's
what?
nuts.
Then eat anything else.
Literally, any other video will teach you how to make any other food.
Or people that comment on like a video about like I think one of the ones that ended up going viral was where I was talking about getting sick from drinking, and some people were like, well, make sure you're drinking in moderation, like started turning it into like an advice column. I'm like, babe, this wasn't what that was. Like, I know how to drink responsibly. I was like,
People get nasty. Oh.
I like refuse to make certain videos. Like sometimes people will ask me, and not like a joking, like everyone's been asking about my skincare. Like sometimes people will be like, what do you do for your skin? And I will not make a video because I know someone would just comment something annoying like, oh, you really should be rubbing it in this way, or you should apply this before. Bitch, my skin looks fucking good. I'm gonna continue to do what the fuck I do. I don't need your unsolicited opinion. We talked about this in our second episode. We do not need your unsolicited recommendation. We do not need your unsolicited opinion. Like,
And yet people still DM them.
no, so true, guys.
I got one yesterday and I can't even say it because I'm about to freak the fuck out.
Oh my God, your face.
I want to be like, listen, babe, I didn't ask you, nor do I care. Let me drink this. I can't. I just gotta stop it right
We'll talk
there.
about this after class.
Yup, I posted a Miami one saying we're going to Miami. I got a you have to DM. You have to go here to a place I'd already been. I said I've
was
been
it worth?
there.
Would you DM someone else and say you have to go there? Like, what was the recommendation? Was it worth?
I don't want to say.
Yeah, don't want to say the place, but like,
no, it's a fun place. But like, I didn't ask for your opinion. I literally just said, if you're in Miami this weekend, like hit me up and if you want to like do shots. Not like you have to go here. Like I've already been and I don't have to do anything. I'm going on a girls trip. I've planned my own itinerary. You can suggest something kindly and say, hey, if you're looking for something to do, this spot's open. Once again, still annoying, but a better way than phrasing you fucking have to. I don't have to do shit.
Wait, so I got a
Oh,
DM.
man.
It was a list of Miami recommendations. And before I could screenshot and send it to you guys, I get another DM. Oh, Brandon asked for a list of recommendations, so I thought I'd send it to you too. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, if you already sent it to him, I'm going with him.
Yeah.
Why didn't they send it to me and Casey? Or did you get it and I just didn't? Maybe this person hates us.
I think I know who this person is.
yeah, me too.
And I
Wait a
think
minute, I'm really the only person who didn't get this DM?
No, she didn't
No,
get
I
it.
didn't get it, but we
No.
could talk about it after.
We can
class.
talk about it after, but it makes sense why it's just me and Bailey. So speaking of,
I'm like offended. Everyone's like, I don't want your advice. Me, I'm like, why didn't I get it?
Like, we're not going to the same place.
so speaking of our trip to Miami, I thought a fitting pyramid ranking would be ranking the best parts of a vacation, a girls trip. So let's keep it positive. The best is at the top, but let's start with the worst, which I would say the worst
You're
part
gonna say it.
of traveling is the flight home.
Oh.
Especially if you were just on like a spring break trip or a trip that involved like heavy drinking and partying. There is no more like, I've never experienced a time where I've questioned my sanity and my will to live than like a flight home after a partying, binge drinking trip.
Our last Miami trip, it was for like me and Bailey's birthday, so we got like matching like sweatsuits for the group that said like BNC's 26th birthday, and on the way there, cutest thing in the world. I was like, we are slaying. This is our Kylie Jenner, Kylie era. But then none of us packed outfits to wear on the way home, so we all had to fucking wear them on the way home, and we were all so miserable. We were so tired, and I never want to wear that sweatsuit
We were
again.
eating, Burger King, like in the airport, like on the floor.
Should we tell everybody what happened on the fucking plane?
Wait, was that my?
It got delayed.
No, not the plane.
When we landed,
that
so
was
we were
hell.
all so hungover, so sick. None of us sat near each other, and we were all just like texting, like I don't even remember what time the flight was, but it was just brutal. And something happened before we even got on, right?
Someone was tripping in the back of the plane. Somebody was having
Oh,
their own
yes.
party in the back.
Somebody was like doing drugs
They
or
needed
something
to
on
be
the back of the
And
plane.
I always look at like the flight route on the plane. So I was looking because I'm fucking anxious. I'm like, I want to go home. And I'm like, that's weird. We're stopping in North Carolina. And then like, obviously I get texts from you guys saying like, oh, are we here yet? I'm like, no. I'm like, we've only been on this thing for an hour.
Yep, we fully landed. I was ready to get up and pack my bags. Comes over the intercom. Sorry, guys, we had to make an emergency landing in Charlotte. I was like, Charlotte?
Emergency.
They're like saying something about like they were like, we almost had to get off because the person in the back wouldn't get off the plane. And one of us had a kid next to them. Was it you, Bailey?
No, it wasn't me. But I purposely picked the seat right in front of the bathroom because I thought I was going to have to go to the bathroom the whole time. But when we landed in Charlotte for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, everyone and their mothers on that plane were on that bathroom.
And something that I do, which is not something I'm proud of, but typically Bailey and I have opposite energies when it comes to things happening that are bad. So when I noticed that everyone was using the bathroom, I was bullying Bailey. I thought it was hilarious. You got the bathroom seat. She's in the bathroom seat freaking out. So yeah, it's
the flight home is never
flight home.
fun, always miserable.
What were you going to say was the worst?
TSA.
Oh.
I think, yes, the flight, like, I'm so excited for our upcoming trip. I'm so excited to pack, be there. But the TSA is what is really killing me. Like, why? Well, you guys know, for some reason, okay, I've been flying probably 2 to 3 times a year for the past 5 years consistently for work and pleasure. And every single time I fly, I get patted down. Because every single time I walk to the TSA thing, put your arms up, zoop, goes around. I walk out and I immediately hook my head to the left and look at the screen because right where my vagina is, it is a big red mark. So it looks like I'm carrying something into this airport. Nothing else. It's not even heat because I sweat a lot. Like my armpits would be the ones red. But it's
sweaty badge.
It's not even that. And every single time. But it's not even like we'll pat you down. They always ask me if I want to step aside or go to a back room because they fully say spread them and they go up like a V. I remember I was wearing shorts one time. She went up and down, front and back.
I have flown with you so many times that I literally, one of our last flights, I think it was for my sister's bachelorette, I looked you in your eyes and I said, Bailey, you can tell me if you have a piercing down there. Like, I won't judge you because it happens every fucking time she flies. And I like mathematically and scientifically cannot understand what it is. And I was like, Bailey, you don't have to lie to the group. Like, if you are pierced, you can tell us.
I think the one TSA agent, she was like, oh, are you, I'm like, I don't have a piercing. She's like, did you have surgery? I'm like, no. I'm like, nothing's going on. The Denver airport was the worst.
I was just going to say, you have really bad TSA luck. I remember the Denver airport, you were all sorts of flustered because they fingered you in the middle of the line. It was a whole ass mess.
And I was wearing Docs, and I remember I was trying to get the Docs back on, and I ripped my nail off. It was just...
Bailey just walked over to me, and like, as her best friends, we all know the look when you like don't ask Bailey what's going on because you know she's just pissed off. And I was like, and she just looked at me, she like held up her finger, and it was just blood. And she was like, I ripped my fucking nail off.
And we downed a ton of edibles, so I was just like, I want to go, whoa!
I will be honest, that's been happening to me, the pat down, the past few times.
Really? No way.
Yep, and you are exactly right. They put your hand all the way up. They were damn near in my butthole.
Yup.
I was like, Jesus, maybe I should have asked for a private room.
No, I'm like, oh, maybe it is an option. I'm like, I know when it's coming, but I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, it's a jump scare for sure.
It is. That's my bottom.
I feel like the next like worst part of a trip is like the packing and planning your outfit aspect, especially if you don't exactly know the itinerary, like trying to figure out what vibe you're going to want to be in, especially for Miami when it's nice outfits and my Shein packages just won't cut it. Mm-hmm. That is the worst for me.
Brandon and I actually have a strategic system that we do where we try to make light of how ugly we look. So we'll purchase all of our clothes and then we'll give each other a fashion show in the living room. And we make a series of sounds and noises and just tell each other how butt ugly we look just to make ourselves feel better. Or he'll text, like the other day, Brandon ordered a package and he said, I'm waiting for you to get home to try this on so that you can tell me how bad it looks. I'm not going to try it on by myself.
I'm so glad that I don't live with you guys. I do not have the confidence for that.
We cannot lie.
But we're honest. And we also, like, if the other person says that they like the outfit, we know it's cute. Like if I get validation from like Lindsay that something is cute, I'm like, oh, it's cute. Lindsay said it is.
Yeah.
But there is nothing more humbling than when you order all of this stuff for a vacation. It comes, you are so excited, and everything looks awful. And you have 2 days, sometimes not even 1 day, before the trip, and you have nothing to wear. Something me and Lindsay have also been doing is we go shopping when we get to the destination. The last time we went to Miami, we went straight to Zara, and we just picked out things. And that has been honestly like a game changer.
I could never.
We've been having, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you girls. Little Lindsay might have to take a Zara trip because my package tomorrow, if it does not fit, I'm screwed. I'm not going actually. So
I'm too like anxious for that. I need all my outfits in order. But your packing, you know, I love you, Lindsay, but your packing style stresses me out.
first off, worry about yourself.
I love packing for trips. Like, I already have my carry-on ready. Like, I'm going to pack tonight. I love rolling my shit. I'm a little organized. But, I mean, obviously, once I get there, I'm going to throw everything there. But
We know.
I agree. I mean, I just tried on a dress on a few days ago, like one of my main dresses. Didn't fit, so I had to order in 2 other sizes. But thank God it just came, so we're good.
I love it.
I like to plan ahead.
You're going to be proud of me, Case. I bought packing cubes. So I'm going to have a spot for my going out clothes, my chill clothes. Casey always bullies me because every single trip we go on, whether it is as quick to the beach or as long to Miami, I do not bring comfies. Like, I don't bring biker shorts to go get breakfast in. I don't bring a cute little set to go out to the mall in. I don't do it. So watch yourself.
I'm so excited.
I am not looking forward to sharing a hotel room with these girls. I will be so honest. And that, honestly, I just thought of that. That might be at the bottom of my pyramid.
You're mean.
Sharing a hotel room with 3 girls. Let me tell you the issue with each of the 3 of them. Lindsay's at the bottom. The problem with Lindsay is honestly my own anxiety because Lindsay and I typically share a bed and I snore. And Lindsay likes to remind me that I snore. Casey and Bailey have never once complained to me about this. They
It's hell,
both
you
go to
guys.
sleep.
It's horrible.
I always got confused because Casey can't smell. I used to think she couldn't hear because she could never, ever, ever tell me that I was snoring. Never. And Bailey plays her noise machine and she's very unbothered. Lindsay has to let me know, Brandon, you need to get a sleep apnea test. You sound like you're dying. No, like I almost shook you in the middle of the night. Like I'm really concerned. Has to make a production.
Wait, please do
out of it.
imitations when you're doing these. You're so good at them.
My issue with Bailey and Casey is they like to take their suitcase and just toss everything. They claim a corner that they don't ask if anyone else wants the corner first. Bailey will take the most viable spot of the room. Say there is one bench that would be beautiful for everyone to be able to use.
That's where you put
it's
suitcases.
taken. Bailey unfolds the suitcase. She puts her clothes under the bench. They're everywhere. Let's also get to the fact that these girls use every towel in the bathroom. I will go to grab a face towel, contour, makeup, foundation.
That's me.
Everywhere. And they sit in the bathroom for 2 hours to the point where Lindsay and I use the lobby bathroom because it's not even worth it to ask if we
Nice
can get
lobby
in there.
bathroom, so don't start.
We did pick a hotel with a great lobby bathroom. We've been there before.
I will say it is so nice when you go on a trip to have a friend that has a similar getting ready style as you, because me and Bailey are both very similar. We have our makeup takes a little while. Like I've gone on trips with other people who do their makeup in 10 minutes and then they're dressed and I'm like, all right, well, I've still got 45 minutes to go. So I hope you have something to entertain yourself. Like,
Well, Lindsay gets
I'm
dressed
gonna bring
before
my
her
Nintendo
makeup, so I'm always like, damn, I need to hurry up.
I don't know why I do that, but here's my vacation con with the 2 of you. I just learned that I look better with makeup on. So now that I care about my makeup, the same way that Casey and Bailey will walk into the room and say, that's my corner, they will find the only 2 mirrors in the entire room and they'll go, okay, I'm taking this one. Okay, I'm taking this one. What about me?
you and I have a good thing. Usually,
do.
like when I'm done doing my makeup, I'll go curl my hair in a different corner and then you take my makeup
forgot
spot.
about
I
that.
don't pick the bathroom because I always like to. I'm like, oh, let me leave some room in the bathroom in case someone else wants to scooch in.
Okay, Casey, I actually take that back. We worked out really well last time.
But it's the mirror that everybody looks in once they're done getting ready, and I'm still doing makeup.
It's still hell.
Yeah, it's not great. We're
It's
all
horrible.
Another issue, which I might be the problem here.
Yes.
I like to keep the thermostat at a crisp 68. And Bailey will complain that it is freezing the entire time.
I'm
Bring
anemic,
sweatpants.
Brandon.
I'm shivering at night. Like, I remember this one time my teeth were chattering. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Some fun things. I would say while the flight home is rough, I think the flight to the vacation is like a perfect midpoint because it's still a flight. You're still dealing with like TSA and all of that stuff. But there's so much excitement. We have like the Zoomies on a flight there. When we were flying to Miami last time, we were all texting each other, just like cracking up about everything, like venting to each other about where we were all sitting. I do love the energy of a flight there. Don't you start. Don't even start. Okay. What's your next favorite thing?
Bailey, you're crying
I
a
know.
little.
I'm sorry. I just thought of
I feel like my next favorite part is like the same thing with any time you go out with your friends is like when you're all sitting in the hotel room the next morning talking about the night before and everyone's still kind of a little drunk or cracked out. So you're like, everything's funny and it's right before you start to get hungover. You're just like snuggled. We're all wearing our band tees talking about the
debrief.
night.
I say that's one of my favorites.
Another thing, and this is a little niche, I love when someone on like a vacation, and it could be you or it could be one of your friends, has like a little vacation fling, like a boy that they meet that like then becomes like someone who can help give you guys plans. Like, oh, the guy that we met at the bar last night says he's going here. And then like you guys like kind of make your own friend group out of it for the vacation. Like I think like a vacation fling is like so fun.
Yeah.
So who's it going to be, Bailey?
I've had some
Should
fun
I
ones
do
in the
that?
past. Yeah, I think you should.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
We could interview them for Bailey's Boys and then
my
play it when
God.
we on our next episode.
Great.
And then
You might have did something.
I think at the top is like the night out. Like I feel like every vacation has like one night where it's like that was the night that everyone talks about. I was telling Lindsay, I have this theory that like it's actually always the second night that's the most fun of a vacation if you're doing like a multiple day trip, because I feel like the first night's fun, you're all in good spirits, excited, but like you're still a little tired from the flight, like still kind of like there's a lot of things that you can still do because the trip hasn't really fully started yet. But like the second night, you're like in the thick of it. Like everyone's energies are like synchronized at this point and you're just like ready to go.
Yeah, it's usually like your favorite outfit or like your cutest one, and just like the vibes are always really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Does anyone else have any other faves that I missed? Maybe going on vacation with me?
I think just going on vacation with y'all is fun.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just excited.
I'm
Like,
really
we just
I
are
think
goofy.
something I'm excited for is, and this happens every time we all hang out, is that Brandon starts going on TikTok and Bailey will go, "Headphones, Brandon," and they get into a fight, and it happens 5 times a day.
Sorry that I'm trying to own a business. But that's fine.
Oh, I
That-
love the hatred that we have for each other. I can't wait to irritate everyone.
Oh, speaking of going on TikTok too much, what's on everyone's FYP this week?
You're so funny.
I know.
A few things. Hold on, I wrote it down in my notes.
Well, should we start with Gypsy Rose?
My girl. Let's clap it up for Gyps. Congratulations. You're out of jail prison.
Could you imagine if Gypsy listens to Between Us Girlies?
That'd be so
She is a
sweet.
girly.
She
Oh,
really
she's
is.
like the definition of girly.
I like came full circle because when she first came out and it was all anyone could talk about, I was like, damn, should we just like give this girl a break? Like she just came into the world, let her be free. And then like she started making TikToks and
Yeah.
Instagrams and her comments to her boyfriend. I was like, okay, sis, she wants the attention.
said,
Like she
"You
gets
give me
anything she
IG
wants.
every night. I said, I know that's right. Come on now.
Yeah, did you guys see that Instagram comment?
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm really sad she didn't get to meet Taylor Swift.
Oh, I saw
Still
that.
has time.
Yeah,
she's
life
still
is
a
young. She can do it.
Gypsy, I'll see you at the Eras tour.
I love her little outfit of the days. Like
Sarah, I said no, she did.
when someone was like, "Oh, get ready with me," like Alex Earl, she was like, "Do you know who Alex Earl is?" And she was like, "No, I don't." And I was like, "Oh, sister."
I commented on one of her Instagrams. I said, "Slay."
I saw it.
It was
Ariana,
nice.
what are you doing here?
Wait. Speaking of, I saw Casey at the shoe store on Sunday.
oh my god.
And I was like, Ariana!
So we went to like our college shoe store place, which is like a 30-minute drive from where we live
Give it a
now.
plug.
Like, yeah, got the look. It's in Manayunk. There's also one somewhere else.
On Aramingo.
Yeah, got the look. They do have the look because that's where all my shoes are from.
Yep.
And I forced my boyfriend to go there. and they didn't have any fucking shoes. And I was in such a bad mood. I was like stomping through the store, pissed off. Everything was ugly. My boyfriend, he was trying to be so nice. He was like, what about these? I was like, those are ugly, Jake. No one would wear them. And he was just like, he's such a girly sometimes, because he was like, oh, well, wouldn't this go with your one dress? And I was like, no, they don't. I was getting so pissed. And we're leaving. We were also late for breakfast because our reservation texted us and they were like, you have to be here in 10 minutes. And we were 15 away. I'm stomping out of the store and I just see Bailey getting out of her car. And I was like, oh my God. And it changed my whole mood. I was sitting at breakfast. I was like, that was so fun. I saw Bailey.
No, that was in such a bad mood because I made like 5 wrong turns and like just in like wherever the fuck Philadelphia I was at that point. And I was like, for fuck's sake, just get me to the store. And I was like, oh my God, Cassandra. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, FYPs. Speaking of like Taylor Swift and all that, my FYP is filled with the Selena Gomez whole shebang with Kylie and Timothy. Obviously, it's fake because like there's no other videos that have said it. And I think I just got a BuzzFeed notification that Selena like.
Wait, can you fill me in and fill in any of the listeners? Because I don't think I know this.
I don't think I know this.
You guys
either.
don't know this?
What you're talking
about?
about?
So it just happened at the Golden Globes, I believe. Yeah, so the award show. And Timothy and Kylie Jenner obviously went as a couple. And there was a clip of Selena Gomez crouching down to Taylor Swift and her one friend,
Kelly something. Apparently she's married to Miles Teller.
Oh, okay. Oh. She's pretty. Wow.
She is pretty.
Lucky girl.
Really hot too. Okay, good couple. So obviously people can't read lips that well. So Taylor is like crouched down whispering to Taylor and her friend, or Selena.
Selena's whispering to Taylor.
And you can't tell what they're saying, but supposedly someone was saying that she said, I asked for a picture with him and she said no. And people tried to put 2 and 2 together and we're talking about Kylie and Timothy.
Yes, because the girl, Miles Teller's wife, and that is true. Like she audibly, like you don't even need to be a good lip reader. She goes, Timothy, like jumps up and says that. And all I can see Selena say is no. So I didn't necessarily like know if it was true. But I gotta say, I loved the interaction. I made a whole TikTok about it. Crazy that, Lindsay, in case you didn't see that. But just like the whole interaction of like Selena like spilling gossip, and no shade to Miles Teller's wife, but you could tell she like maybe isn't used to that kind of media attention, because Selena and Taylor were being very strategic, like whispering, like not even like in each other's ear, like on top of each other, like so that no one could see what they were saying. But like you could clearly say that Miles Teller's wife like was like, Timothy. And Taylor's like holding Selena's arm and like embracing her, and she just has this like touch where like I would tell that girl any secret she wanted to know. Like her physical embrace is like Selena spilling this piping hot tea. It honestly was like a magical moment. I loved watching it.
It did. And like there were so many TikToks of like breaking it down. Like, oh my God, like there was this one I was like, honestly, I don't blame her for saying no. Obviously Kylie didn't say no to like Selena asking for a picture with her boyfriend. But there was just this whole thing. But Selena came out and said something that like it wasn't true.
Oh, I want to read what she said.
Lip readers on TikTok crack me up. Like when they stitch the video and they just like they like try to say both parts, and I'm like, you have no idea what the fuck they're saying. Like, and they just go crazy with it, and they can create a whole narrative because it's sort of like a brain trick where if you hear somebody saying it, you can kind of convince yourself that that's what their lips look like. So I'm like, you could literally be saying anything and you could probably convince half the people on TikTok that that's true.
Once I saw the video, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, she did say it. Yo.
Yeah, I'm like 50-50 on it. I like low-key think there might have been something to it, but yeah, that was juicy. Also, I have secondhand embarrassment for whoever that guy that hosted was.
Oh my God.
No, that was crazy.
He said some like crazy, like really just like cringe, not even funny. Like, what is with these like white male comedians like thinking they can just like come at women in a way that isn't even funny?
If
like it's
men,
a gag.
no, if male comedians could not reference a woman in their stand-up comedy, like if they had to do a whole comedy special and not make fun of a woman, they literally couldn't. There is like no joke that those type of male comics can do where they don't degrade women. I feel like I talked about this when I was like obsessed with the Matt Rife thing. I see a lot of comedians who will always redo jokes that aren't funny for people who get canceled. And they're like, this is how you tell a funny like joke this way. And this guy rewrote the whole opening monologue, but all of his jokes were so funny. And they talked about the same things, Barbie, Taylor Swift, the NFL, but he said it in such a funny way. And I was like, damn, these writers fucking suck.
Yeah. And the Golden Globes or Emmys, like they usually have good hosts that do that type of thing. Like I think, I don't know if it's Kevin Hart, but like there's really good ones. But that Joe Coy guy that was hosting it, he came out with a statement and said, "It's a tough room. It was a hard job. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't hurt."
What? He's hurt?
Yeah.
He just like the joke about Barbie, like, Oppenheimer's about a 721-page Manhattan Project, and Barbie's about a doll with boobies or like whatever.
Big boobies.
So like stupid. Let's rephrase it. Barbie is about the troubles that women go through and experience that men will never have to face, and Oppenheimer's about a fucking bomb. Mm-hmm. How about that, Joe Coy? Whatever. What else is on y'all's FYP? I'm getting angry.
Is there anything on yours?
That was like kind of the bulk of it has been like the gypsy stuff and everything that's gone on. I wrote down like a few other things I've been seeing. One was that millennial Karen one. But honestly, I feel like that's like kind of it.
All those 10-year-olds in Sephora.
Oh, yes. I've been seeing that.
Wait, I'm so glad you brought that up because we posted about the urban planning thing. And I know I sound fucking stupid that like I didn't know that was a thing. And I also know that this is going to sound stupid, but my brain sometimes was not taught these things in school. But someone made a video saying, stop bitching about the 10-year-olds in Sephora. It's because there's no third space for them to go. Parks are being demolished to build developments. Like kids would rather play with iPads than with toys. It's like, yeah, that's what's happening to our society, that girls are now wanting to spend time in a Sephora store rather than like playing dolls with each other or like going out to
like a mall or
yeah.
something.
No,
But girls have always wanted to do that. I think it's just now we're in a space where it's okay. Like I think way back when we were growing up, old girls, when we were growing up, it was like you didn't dye your hair, you didn't put on makeup, and if you did, it was like a little CVS palette. It's like now the kind of female icons that we have, they are beauty queens, and girls want to look like Barbie. Girls want to, and that's not saying like the traditional Barbie. Like as we know from the movie, Barbies come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and any type of Barbie. So it's like that's what girls want to look like. They're going to get it at Sephora. They're going to get it at Ulta. It's like it's just a 2023 thing.
This is something I feel very passionately about. This was on my For You page like a few months ago, and it was something I actually like researched because I thought it was really interesting because I have a little cousin right around this age. And it was this whole article about how girls that age do not have any people to look up to that are their same age. When we were growing up, we had Disney Channel. We had Raven Simone. We had Miley Cyrus. We had Hilary Duff. We grew up with all of these. Selena Gomez. We grew up with very age-appropriate, like, role models. And, like, I feel like you cannot dispute that Disney Channel was better back then. I don't know if any of you have recently frequented Disney Channel, but it's not good. The shows don't have the same production value. They don't have the same, like, family fun. It's just a different channel. And so nobody wants to watch those shows because they're not good. So they go, their new media is TikTok. Yeah. And so this like woman, this psychiatrist was just saying how like their Disney Channel is TikTok. So no wonder that I wanted to be Miley Cyrus because Hannah Montana was my favorite show ever. It's like they would now want to be influencers, like what you're saying.
It's
like
so true. They asked, I remember that study where it was like, they asked a bunch of kids like what they wanted to be when they grew up. And in China, the number one answer was an astronaut. In America, it was an influencer. So it's almost like it's not that they want to look like Barbie. They want to look like the influencers and like the Jenners, the Kardashians, like people that like are all over like their FYP selling makeup, doing makeup. It is crazy to think about.
I think it's wild that like parents will complain about influencers and rappers and like the weirdest people babysitting their kids. They'll be like, this is inappropriate. My kid's watching that. They should be yelling at Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, those kiddie networks that are producing crap because like you said, how you wanted to be Miley growing up. I like literally thought I was Raven Simone from That's So Raven as a child. Like I was full blown, like Brandon can tell you, that was my entire aesthetic as a kid. So it's like, what do you expect? Get mad at Disney Channel. Like we don't have Hilary Duffs anymore. It just is what it is.
And they're all forced to grow up so fast. Right. And it's like my little cousin it was like she had very age appropriate gifts, but she was showing me like her little everything she got for Christmas. I was like, oh my God, what did you get? She was like, oh, I'll show you my haul. And she like doesn't have a TikTok account. It's just like a fake one, but she like made a haul of everything she got. And I was like, oh my God, that is so 2023 that like instead of just listing off what you got, you like make a haul. And it was so cute. But it just was like a moment where I was like, wow, it's so different being a tween.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, I don't think there's anything like, I mean, deep rooted, there's something wrong with it, but that's for a different topic, different conversation. I don't think there's anything wrong with little girls liking Sephora. I think it's the energy that's behind it that gets so aggressive, like the "where's my drunk elephant?"
I also think it's like, but it's like the products at hand. They're spending like $100 on products at their young age for like anti-aging products when they don't need it, like stuff like that. I'm like, it's not making sense for what they're buying. Like a Dior lip gloss, like yes, that's nice to have because it's a hot new thing, but like you're in middle school,
right?
Like think about the price. I don't know, I don't know, but you're also a kid, you don't have anything else to do.
But also but when it's like a sticky situation because you want to sound like you're not being judgmental and you want to be like, you want to let girls be girls, but it's like at our age we weren't getting
Claire's toolbox kits with the makeup.
Smackers.
I had silly bands as my bracelets, like I had those little earrings with the studs. You remember those, like
the jelly?
Yes, the jelly things. Like that's what I wanted. Like it was a big deal if you got your belly pierced. Like it was like those were the things that 2000s core, but I don't know. It is weird. It's really weird.
I saw a TikTok this morning where this little girl got like a fake Stanley for Christmas. Like it was like an off-brand one. Did you see this?
Yes.
Me and Brandon always have the same For You page. And it was like a white cheetah one. And the little girl like loved it. And she was so happy. And she brought it to school. And then everyone at school had like a real Stanley. So they like bullied her, which is a tale as old as time. I remember growing up, like my parents never got me Uggs. So I would always get fake Uggs. And I remember going to school and like being embarrassed. But it was way different back then. I didn't like come home crying. I would just be at school like, damn, I didn't get a real pair. But I feel like these days kids like actually make fun of other kids who can't afford that.
Yeah. Ooh, well, the last thing that's on my FYP actually and leads me into my immunity necklace is dry January. I feel like this year dry January is like so at least in my face.
It's in mine too.
And I don't even like have a certain like immunity necklace for it, but just like, can we all like just not judge others if they don't want to do dry January? Dry January is not for me, and that's not because I'm an alcoholic, but because I have never like worked well with like kind of diet culture or like anything that was extremely like restrictive. Like my brain works the way where if you tell me you can't have something for 30 days, I want it more. Like just the idea of not being allowed to have it makes me want it. Whereas if I like, let's say want to wean off something, like when I was little, I was like always drinking soda and I was like, I can't keep doing that. Rather than going 30 days without soda, I started cutting back each week, making small changes in moderation. Like that's something that helps me. And I feel like people just like are like, oh, if you can't go 31 days without alcohol, you're an alcoholic. It's like, no, I could go 31 days without alcohol. Maybe you're the alcoholic because you're making it your whole personality. Like, why is it such a drastic change for you that you have to like constantly remind me, I'm doing dry January. Like, hey, you want to go on a walk? I'm doing dry January. What does that have to do with me asking you to go on a walk? If I ask you, hey, do you want to go get drinks? You could be like, sure, but I'm going to get a mocktail. I'm not drinking. Cool. I don't really give a fuck if you drink. Like, I've never been that type of person that like really cares if other people are drinking around me. Like, if you want to be sober, be sober. If you want to drink, drink. Obviously, if it's getting to a point where it's affecting your lifestyle, of course. But that's not my business. Anywho, what do you all take on it? We've never been able to really do it also because we have 2 Capricorns in the group. We celebrate in January.
The amount of people who were like, I would love to come to your party, but I'm doing dry January, which I get, put your whatever, do what you got to do. But I was like, come on.
sad.
You can't just say hi though. That's what you said. I was like, that pissed me off. I'm like, just stop.
I will say, our friend, shout out to Jenny, last year, she came to our birthday party at the beginning of the month and she was like, I'm doing dry January, but I waited until after your birthday to start it. And I thought that was a real friend.
I think my mom always said that when I was growing up, she's like, you and your friends are obsessed with drinking. And I thought she was just being a mom. But like, people are obsessed with drinking. If you have to mention that you cannot go somewhere because you're not drinking, that is bizarre behavior. Like, it's not an announcement to make. It's weird.
I feel like that's part of the problem with like our generation is like we have to make everything a trend. Every single thing is a trend. Back when like the light blue nails were coming out and it was like blueberry milkshake smoothie nails. Like, no, it's light blue. Or like mocha chocolate caramel. That's light brown. Like our generation has to make everything like a moment or a trend. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. It can just exist and not have to be that.
Yep.
My favorite is when those get race related, like something that has already existed since the beginning of time, and people be like, boxer braids, girl, that is not a thing. We didn't have to retrend this. Just say what it is.
Yeah, like if you want to make it a cute name, just because it makes you happy and it's fun, like do that. But then when it becomes so big and then brands start jumping in on it and then it's this whole viral moment, then it's like makes it not fun to begin with anyway.
Yeah. Anyone else have an immunity necklace?
I do.
Oh, let's hear it.
I haven't had one in a little bit. My immunity necklace, this goes for everyone, influencers and people of influence. So you don't actually have to be an influencer, but if people look up to you, if you are in a position where people, specifically girls, look up to you and you misuse that platform to mislead people for your own gain, I think that is one of the grossest things that you can do. I think as women, we grow up like always trying to be like the best. So we're so impressionable, like myself included. If I'm following a girl on Instagram and she's like, oh my God, I do this Pilates program, I'm looking it up. I'm seeing what I want to do. If I see an influencer with a workout set I want, I'm Googling the workout set. Like we all, especially when it comes to fitness, we all want to like be better, especially if you have a girl crush on someone and then your girl crush shares something. You're like, oh my God, I want to do that. She's doing it. And I think that if you mislead people when you're one of those people that girls look up to, I think it's really gross. And I think I see it on every level. I see it really, really high up influencers who like, you know, sugarcoat things for their Instagram. And then I see it on like just regular everyday people who like kind of just like lie or I don't know, post about something in a different way than what's true. And listen, I get it. Like, you know, I've posted things where like the lighting is better in one picture than the other. That's not really what I mean. It's like completely changing the purpose of what you're posting. I think is where I'm over it.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to asking you off this who you're talking about because
it's been something that's been something that's been bothering me for a while, especially because like I don't even like sharing about fitness because I don't think I'm an expert and I would never want a girl to like ask me something and I give her what works for me and then she thinks that would like
work for her.
Right. And then she's like either let down or she's frustrated with herself because she's like, well, I'm doing what Casey's doing and it's not working. So like I feel like I take that into like consideration a lot and I don't think a lot of other people do. And if you're educated, like do it. That's why, you know, fitness influencers are important for a reason, but if you're not, you know, keeping the girlies in mind, I think that's messed up.
And being like honest.
Yes. Honest is where it is. You could be like, hey, this works for me. It might not work for you.
Exactly.
Period. You guys got any immunity necklaces or are you staying nice this week?
Good this week.
I do, but I'm going to save it for next week. I don't know how to phrase it without No. I don't know how to phrase it without it sounding extremely offensive. So
I feel like we need to keep it like 2 immunity necklaces an episode. I haven't said one in a while, so
it's not for me today.
Before we wrap up, I do want to ask the listeners if you are enjoying this podcast to please just rate us. Even if you're giving us 1 star, if you hate us, we want to be rated. So if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, please throw a rating on there. It helps us. Also, if you're watching on YouTube or even if you're not watching on YouTube, but you could help us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Seriously, we have some really big plans for this year and we can't do any of it without your support. So if you're enjoying it, make sure you tell people you're enjoying it. Follow us on TikTok because we're popping off. But like I said, not if you can't handle the heat. And Instagram too. But for now, keep everything we said between us girlies. And the next time you see us, we'll have a fresh tan because we'll be in Miami.
Yes.
Bye, girlies.
bye.